Good morning once again and welcome back to New Day. It's now time for the legal desk, and this morning we're talking about sexual harassment at the workplace or in various offices. And my guest this morning is Dr. Morris Ampal, who is a lawyer. Good morning, Doc.
Morning, my sister.
How are you doing?
Grace, that's fine.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about sexual harassment at the workplace. It's a very serious form of harassment, and we have a story first of all, so let's go and look at that video, and then when we come back we'll get into the discussion.
Repeated proposals, sexual teasing, questions, touching of intimate body parts, sexual harassment in the workplace is still prevalent. A great majority of victims do not report to superiors or management for redress. Findings of a research published by the Center for Social Policy Studies in August 2001 indicate that about 74% of female employees and 42% of male employees in Ghana experience sexual harassment within the working environment. Whatever form it may come in, most victims prefer to handle the issue on their own for a variety of reasons. The social stigma attached to harassment cases, the fear of the consequences of reporting, the high ignorance of human rights among employees, the unprofessional and insensitive manner in which complaints are generally dealt with in organizations. Mavis Ando has worked under such duress since she joined her current company. Through hard work, she's managed to become the head of her department. Being in a leadership position has not barred the doors to sexual harassment.
And there was this guy. He kept on making advances at me. I told him I wasn't interested. We were on the stairs and then I met him. He greeted me. I passed by and then he just hit my butt.
Despite having to deal with the uncomfortable situation daily, she believes reporting to human resources is not the option.
But I don't think if somebody is being harassed, the person will feel free to communicate that to HR.
Like most of her colleagues, Mavis believes harassment has become accepted as part of the work environment. Human resource expert Kwesi Hagan believes society is to blame.
We are living in a society or in a world where now the morality of people is a little low.
Okay, that was a very interesting video there, and even though it depicts a lot of fun and very interesting, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a very serious issue. And so I'd like to first off start by asking you to give us the legal definition of sexual harassment.
I think we need to look at it from this angle. Legally, we are looking at sexual harassment as two main offenses. One is a civil wrong. It's a wrong, so you can take a civil action, and then it's a criminal offense under the Domestic Violence Act. So it's also a matter that you can report to the police. But when you look at the law as it is, it's looking at any unwanted advances or favors, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable when somebody is making a sexual advances. You then that we talk about in law, we talk about sexual harassment, and it can take so many forms. So the law is very interested in looking at the form that it comes. But at the end of the day, any advances towards you which is unwanted,
unwelcome,
unprovoked, it annoys you, it makes you feel uncomfortable. It actually it looks as if it's invading your privacy. It's not making you have confidence in yourself. All these things actually amount to sexual harassment in law.
Can you give us some of the common forms it takes?
It takes various forms. We have the physical one where physically somebody can touch you in a manner that you don't want. Then it can also take the form of verbal. Somebody makes oral advances at you. Then it can also come out of a lot of conduct. Somebody can use his conduct. And then it comes in the form of so many forms, either through social media, verbal, graphic-wise, and then conduct-wise. All those amount to sexual harassment.
Are we paying enough attention to sexual harassment in our workplaces?
No, because what has happened is that initially people did not know that it's a civil wrong. It's a wrong against another person, and also we did not criminalize that conduct. So what happened was that people were taking it as for granted, and in our society we think that when you make advances in the form of joke, it's acceptable. Right. So when you're a lady and somebody touch your waist and you say, "Oh, what are you doing?" So we have this concept like, "Oh, look, we are nobody and we must love each other." So don't restrict one person. If somebody want to get closer, what is your problem? What is your beef? All these things add up to a situation whereby people are not comfortable to either report that conduct or to resist that conduct, or at the same time to see it as a civil wrong and a criminal offense.
Okay. How can one file such complaints of sexual harassment in the office?
What you need to do is that for that to be a complaint, you need a sexual harassment policy at the workplace, so that before you are employed, you should have a policy in place detailing the guidelines under which you can report the process. So what you need to do is that when you are facing sexual harassment, you need to first talk to your superior, your supervisor. Let your supervisor be aware, and then it's a human rights issue. It borders upon employer-employee relationship. So therefore, the human resource manager should also be seen. You apply, and then there should be the law telling you the steps to be taken,
right,
so that you can follow that steps. So if it is sexual harassment at workplace, first your supervisor, they cannot deal with it. Then you take it at a higher level. You can now report the matter to SHRAJ, because it's a civil wrong. It's against your right to privacy plus discriminatory act.
Okay. What if there's no such guidelines at your workplace? There are no steps for you to take when such a thing happens. Then what other cause of redress do you have?
Then you see, because it's a workplace, you first need to report to your superior, and then a human resource. But then if they fail to take action, then you can petition SHRAJ, because it's a human right issue. Your right to privacy have invaded, and then also your it's discriminatory. Then you
what
can
about
also
the Labour Commission? Do they have any role to play here at all?
Yes, somehow, but I think this is not a labor issue. It's not an issue bothering so much. The labor issues, the labor office have so much issues to deal with than harassment. So they would like rather report it to your superior, and then the human resource. If you have to do so, you go to SHRAJ, or then you can report it at DOSU, because it's a criminal offense.
Right. Okay. What is an employer's obligation towards issues of sexual harassment?
You see, it is in the interest of the employer to ensure that the working environment is so conducive, free from intimidation, because when you have your employees well disciplined, they don't engage in sexual harassment, then it will increase productivity. Because sexual harassment actually creates problem for the employees. They become very intimidating, it affects productivity, and then it may also generate into office romance, which is quite dangerous, because office romance may affect so many things in the workplace. So you need to put in place sexual harassment policy to ensure that those who are employed are made known, put on notice that the company will not tolerate sexual harassment, and then anybody who commits sexual harassment or violates the privacy of another, punish the person severely, and then occasionally let the human resource head meet staffs and discuss issues of sexual harassment. Training, education is the key, and bring it to the notice. Look, we have a complaint unit. If somebody harasses you, and also keep it a confidential matter, because we don't want a situation whereby sexual harassment issues you disclose it. No, you keep it as a confidential matter, a secret, so that at least people will know that action is being taken.
Okay. Now, a lot of times, most of these cases are not reported. Why do you think victims are so silent on such issues?
We look as if we value relationship, and in our workplace, we don't want to be seen that we are too known or we know our rights. Because here in this part of the world, when you want to insist or protect your rights, people think that you are arrogant and you are not friendly. So people want relationship, so they would rather let it go. They either want the person who is doing the harassment that look like, don't like that. That's all. But that is number one. Number two, maybe the work environment. Especially the harassment is coming from your superior and your boss. It's quite difficult, because if you don't take care, you'll be fired. And so people are very afraid of being fired. And then you have a situation whereby we think that, look, sexual harassment is